Phú Thọ is a midland region more than 100 kilometers to the northwest of the Vietnamese capital, Hanoi. The Viet people in this region practice and transmit to younger generations the worship of Hùng kings. In Phú Thọ stands the sacred Nghĩa Lĩnh mountain, also called Hùng mountain. On this mountain sit temples dedicated to the Hùng kings. Around Nghĩa Lĩnh mountain, more than 100 Hùng kings worshipping villages and communes create a worshipping space hundreds of square kilometers in area. According to legend, Nghĩa Lĩnh mountain is where Lac Long Quan and O Cơ gave birth to 100 sons. Their eldest son, the first Hùng king, founded the ancient country of Van Lang. From then on, the country's territory has been firmly established. During the dynasties of the Hùng kings over a period of several thousand years, families and communities lived and worked in peace, harmony, and contentment. Over the centuries, legends have penetrated the consciousness of the Viet people and come to constitute a strongly held belief about the origins of the Vietnamese nation and country.
Ở nhà, gia đình chúng ta là thờ tổ tiên, thờ ông bà, ông vải, thờ cha mẹ. Nhưng ra làng, mà nói rộng ra là cả nước chúng ta là thờ vua Hùng. Là vì vua Hùng là một vị tổ của dân tộc chúng ta.
This belief has been noted by Confucian scholars in the unofficial history section of Vietnamese history books. The imperial dynasties of Great Viet attached much importance to the worship of Hùng kings in folk life, giving imperial conferments to villages and communes where the worship was practiced in temples, communal halls, and shrines. Every 5 years, imperial courts appointed mandarins to play leading roles in the national commemoration on Nghĩa Lĩnh mountain. In the consciousness of the Viet people, the Hùng kings are seen as the progenitor of the nation, as well as king gods with supernatural powers. In Phú Thọ, the Hùng kings are seen to be closely connected to the lives of peasants, who turn to them for spiritual support. They call the Hùng kings king gods and worship them as the ancestral god of their communities. With all their worries and desires, they can come to pray in front of the Hùng king's altar and expect to be blessed. The worship of Hùng kings is the source of innumerable legends about wharves, rivers, fields, rice crops, land, and other significant socio-economic and cultural elements.
Hôm nay cũng là ngày để mở cửa đình, đóng áo chọc. Tất cả bộ phận khánh tiết là các cụ lò thủ tất.
Many of these legends are reenacted in annual rituals at communal halls, temples, and shrines in villages and communes. People prepare for these rituals and the offerings made during them very carefully. Among the offerings made to the king gods, square cakes, bang chung, and glutinous rice cakes, bang zai, are the most important. According to legend, Lang Liao, the seventh Hùng king, created these two cakes which symbolize heaven and earth and the piety of children to their parents. They are indispensable offerings at the ritual dedicated to the Hùng kings. The rituals of worshipping the Hùng kings are carried out in villages and communes for several days. First, families make offerings at communal halls, temples, or shrines. Then, all community members join a procession bearing the king god's tablet through villages and fields, so they can witness the lives of their descendants today and bestow their sacred power upon people, crops, and domestic animals. At the center of the ritual are the prayer ceremony and the offerings made at communal halls, temples, and shrines. These are the most sacred moments when the veneration and gratitude of the people for the king gods are expressed. Besides the annual ritual, some villages in Phú Thọ customarily bring offerings to Nghĩa Lĩnh mountain to invite the king gods to join them for the Lunar New Year. After reading the wish petition of his village, the elder head tosses 2 old coins and asks for the king god's blessings. If one coin is heads and the other is tails, the king god is happy to accept the village's wishes. At the New Year feast, the villagers feel more jovial if the hallowed spirit of the Hùng kings is with them. Because they taught people how to cultivate wet rice, the Hùng kings are revered as agricultural gods. Today, some villages near Nghĩa Lĩnh mountain still perform the ritual of starting a new harvest, a ritual dedicated to the agricultural gods where prayers for an abundant harvest are made. After the rituals in the fields, some village members impersonate imperial mandarins and carry rice crops away as villagers seize paddy for seeds and for good luck. The worship of Hùng kings also provides inspiration for artistic creativity and folk life. This dance represents a legend about one of the Hùng kings' triumphs over monsters. Xoan singing is a form of folk singing performed in villages at the edge of Viet Chi city. Xoan songs have served as worshipping songs sung at communal halls or temples dedicated to Hùng kings for many years. The largest commemoration of the Hùng kings is the Ancestral Anniversary, held on the 10th day of the 3rd lunar month on the sacred mountain of Nghĩa Lĩnh. According to custom, a national commemoration is held every 5 years. Millions of people from all corners of the country go on pilgrimage to Nghĩa Lĩnh mountain to express their gratitude to the ancestor of the nation, to connect with their origins, and to make their personal wishes.
Từ đời ông cha ta là có vua Hùng dựng nước để mới đến bây giờ mới có đời chúng mình, thì chúng tôi là thường là đi lễ để cầu phúc cầu lộc cầu tài cho con cho cháu.
In recent decades, the Vietnamese government and authorities in Phú Thọ province have initiated and supported many research projects on Hùng kings worship. They have also worked to reconstruct the Hùng kings worshipping space, which had been falling into ruin and on the brink of disappearance, and encouraged villages and communes to revitalize folk performances and rituals related to the Hùng kings. These efforts have provided opportunities for local people to preserve and promote the worship of Hùng kings.
Cả dân làng cũng mong là ta giữ được cái truyền thống này lâu dài, không những là bây giờ để cho ta còn thực hiện biết, mà sau này con cháu ta cũng còn phải duy trì phát huy cái đó.